Welcome to the deep dive. So, customer obsession. We hear that phrase thrown around a lot, right? Often linked straight back to Jeff Bezos.
Absolutely. It's become a bit of a buzzword.
It really has. But what's actually behind it? How does it genuinely shape how a company runs? And maybe more importantly, how can you use these ideas, these deep principles, to make a real difference?
Yeah, to actually transform things.
Exactly. So today we're going to cut through the noise, we'll unpack the strategy, look at some hidden pitfalls, and even peek at its future with AI.
Okay, let's dive in.
That's good.
So starting with Bezos and Amazon, what were those foundational pillars for him? What really defined customer obsession there?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, isn't just the idea itself. It's how Amazon structurally engineered itself to fight complacency.
Structurally engineered.
Yeah.
How so?
Take the day one culture. It's not just a catchy phrase. It means constantly reinventing, actively fighting that organizational drag.
That inertia that sets in. Precisely. And decentralizing decisions out to the edges. Trying to keep that startup feel, that agility. And crucially, avoiding proxies.
Proxies, meaning?
Meaning like focusing on the process instead of the actual result for the customer.
Yeah.
Ticking boxes instead of solving the real problem.
Ah, right. Keep your eye on the ball, which is the customer outcome.
Exactly. It's like trying to keep that energy, that curiosity you have on your very first day, but forever. It's incredibly hard.
Yeah, for anyone, let alone a giant company. And that day one thinking, it seems to flow right into playing the long game, doesn't it?
It does. It's fundamental.
This isn't just about sounding patient. It's the core of Amazon's famous virtuous cycle, right? Focus on customers, lower prices. That drives growth.
Which drives scale, which lets them lower costs even more. It just keeps feeding itself.
Creating huge value, yeah, and a massive competitive moat.
And that day one energy, it also fuels this proactive drive to invent on behalf of the customer. It's not just waiting for requests.
You mean like anticipating needs?
Exactly. Think about Amazon Prime. No one wrote in asking for that specific membership, but Amazon figured out people would love it.
How did they figure that out?
Using the working backward method. They literally start by writing the press release for the finished product. What's the customer benefit? Get that right first before you build anything.
Okay, so we have the what and why from Bezos, the relentless customer focus, the long game, inventing proactively. But the how. How do companies actually do this day to day? What makes it tick?
Right, the operational side. Well, if Bezos laid the philosophical groundwork, I'd say agile methodologies really provide the engine.
Agile. How does that connect?
Look at a core agile value. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. It's built right in.
Instead of locking everything down up front.
Exactly. It's about continuous partnership. Things like sprint reviews, where you show working software often, that creates a constant feedback flywheel.
A flywheel. Nice. So customer input shapes the very next step.
Immediately. The customer becomes the real judge of progress. It basically operationalizes that high-velocity decision-making Bezos talks about. You pivot fast based on real feedback, not endless internal debates.
Okay, this sounds powerful. But, play devil's advocate. CFO might hear this and think, okay, nice ideas, but what's the actual ROI? Does this really hit the bottom line?
Oh, absolutely. There's a tangible loyalty dividend, higher retention, definitely, increased customer lifetime value, CLV, and lower costs to acquire new customers because your current ones are happy and stick around.
Are there numbers on this?
Yeah, research consistently shows customer-centric companies are significantly more profitable, sometimes up to 50% more than peers. And their revenue growth tends to be much higher, too. It pays off.
60%. Wow. But is it always good? Can you be too obsessed or obsessed in maybe the wrong way? Are there downsides?
That's a really important point. There's the classic faster horse problem, isn't there?
Right, the Henry Ford analogy. If he'd only listened, we wouldn't have cars.
Exactly. Listen to literally. And you might just make slightly better versions of what already exists. You could miss the real breakthrough. Think Nokia focusing on battery life when smartphones were about to explode.
Ouch.
Yeah. And there can be a dark side, too. If it's unchecked, this obsession, it can lead to employee burnout, right? Or neglecting other important stakeholders, suppliers, maybe the community.
Or even ethical issues if customer focus is just a mask for maximizing profit at all costs.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It needs careful balancing.
So looking forward then, we're in the age of AI, big data. How's that changing customer obsession? Amplifying it? complicating it?
Both, I think.
Mm.
AI enables incredible hyper-personalization, tailoring things instantly, individually, and anticipatory service solving your problem before you even know you have it.
Like my smart fridge ordering milk.
Sort of, yeah, but
Yeah.
potentially much more sophisticated. But it brings huge challenges to data privacy, obviously.
Yeah.
Algorithmic bias is a big one.
Ensuring the AI isn't, say, discriminating.
Right. And maybe the biggest risk, losing the human touch, relying too much on tech. The real goal, I think, has to be using AI to augment human empathy, not replace it, especially for complex issues.
That makes sense. So ultimately, this customer obsession thing, it's really a balancing act, isn't it?
It absolutely is a discipline, really.
Balancing listening versus leading, customer needs versus other stakeholders, and balancing tech with that essential human empathy.
Well put. That's the tightrope.
It seems the companies that really nail this, the ones that thrive long term, they'll be the ones who master that delicate balance, deepening their customer focus, sure, but doing it responsibly, doing it well, humanly,